Good morning, guys. This is the next day. We stayed up quite a bit after that and wanted to make sure that we had so many failed attempts on what we were doing. We didn't want to look like complete idiots on the next thing, so we ended up just trying it and it worked. I just didn't want to look like an idiot for like the 15th time in the same video. But anyway, so what we did is we cut and notched and made pie cuts in there, then heated the outside of this and pulled it around. It did alright. This side is a little bit worse. We're not talking about that one. But now I'm just going to run welds in here. And then I'm going to add a gusset in here. This part will be in front of the radiator, so the radiator's not going to get hit by it, or it's not going to hit the radiator. It'll all be fine. Not a problem there at all. So now I've got to situate everything in here the way I want it, because I can't get the radiator to hold itself up in the right spot, or at least haven't found a way yet. I may try to come up with some straps or something, but my wood here is failing and it's not working out very well. Really don't have a way to clamp or set this thing in a jig, because if I make a jig, then that's essentially the radiator support, and why wouldn't I just use that? So I'm gonna find a way to get the whole thing set up in place, and then maybe get the radiator support and get that started welding and tacked in and all this other stuff, and then I can pull the whole bumper off and finish weld it, because it's gonna go to the bottom of this piece. So there's the bolts in here, right? I'm gonna mount it to the bottom of this, and we cut this section out so we can bring the radiator more forward to fit the fans and just have more room to play with. So now there's almost 1.5 feet of room in there now, so we've got all the room to play. And then a small part of me thought about making a piece of tubing to come off the back, like at an angle like this, to go back to here, which I can put riv nuts into the back side, and then that can all be unbolted and taken out. The motor can come straight out, and I just don't think it gets much better than that. So anyway, we've got to figure out what to do with this harness. We'll figure that out, but I'm going to try and finish this little project just working on the radiator support in this video, not moving on to anything else. Besides, also I am going to put the doors on, but that ain't that big a deal. And then yeah, get this all finished up today. That's the goal right before work. So you guys, back to the time lapse and back to the music. Guys, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sand this down with, I'm going to clean this up, and the idea, there you are, is take this steel, it's a 1/4 inch thick, it's thick, and I'm just going to bend, and the pipe is wide enough that lines up in the center of this, so this will give me a good place to weld the pipe to, and a lot of surface area on this thin metal to bend this around and weld this to. So there's going to be some blacksmithing involved, but I really do believe this is going to be about the best way to get this handled. Alright guys, so idiot move number 15. We're going to be going on 16, but it's a way too much effort to bend this. Should have known better. But anyway, moving on. I got some of this here just laying around, so that's hot. But I'm going to use 2 sections per side. I've got enough here to do what I need to do. So I'll weld the seam. I'll bend them both at the same time, maybe, we'll see. But then weld the seam and then weld around it. It'd be the same thing, just a little bit easier metal to use, and honestly this is enough. So anyway, we're gonna do the exact same thing, but with this we're gonna cut it up and get all of our pieces right and then go from there. So back at it. Alright guys, so spend some time bending those things up. Don't come at me in the comments saying, hey, you should have did this, or wouldn't this have been easier. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I do things my way. Might not necessarily be the most correct way. So, I will tell you that I think they turned out alright. I think it's going to be just fine, especially for what they're going to be doing. And I think I got them to match up pretty well. So, yeah, they could have been professionally bent, but, I don't know. I got some of the pieces, the stepping in them, just like that's on these pieces here. They kind of match up to those pieces. So, I'm actually going to put these in, put them on top of some metal, and cover up this work table here. I've used this table here for literally everything. Welded on it, that's the reason why that hole's burnt up. But I don't have a welding table. Don't have a welding table, I ain't gonna make one. We all know how that would probably turn out. You'd probably laugh at that too. But I'm going to burn these together and then get ready to tack weld them onto that. So I can go ahead and actually finish welding all of that because this is going to be considered done. I will though, definitely, once I weld these together, I'll put them on the belt sander so that I can get a nice uniform surface to mount the pipe to. So I don't know if I'll get on that tomorrow or not, but this is going to be the end of this video. I really wanted to complete it, but the radiator support, but it's just taking way too long because of me being me and doing the things that I do the way I do them. Then there'll be a part 2 to this because there's actually going to be a lot more tubing put in on the front of this than I thought. But hey, we're about it. We're in it now, so let's go ahead and get it done. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.